say, we played that because some of y'all might have not saw that yesterday or last night. So I wanted you all to get a little feel so y'all didn't think we just sitting there tweaking. I like the man swag. I think that he's surrounded himself with enough people that he might get the feel of the hood. Now, I don't expect him to be running around here acting confused. I don't. But I do like the way he seemed to be talking. The only thing I'm hoping, though, Brother Tucker, is that these damn hogs, y'all hear this here? I hope he find the hogs. Not only over there at CPS, but out here that's receiving this money. I hope he do. And I hope he identify them snakes. Y'all show him the snake here. See this snake and this hog? This has been one of the biggest problems in Chicago. It ain't that the money ain't been here, it's just that the damn hogs and the snakes. You understand? But anyhow, Tucker, we're going to come back to this hog and the snake. But you know, me and you was talking, and I know we did a lot of work at a couple of schools. But just help me out here, little Tucker. Put this hog down before I be done cut his head off.
Well, some key things that the mayor said in his inaugural speech. One was he is not a patient man. Mm-hmm. So he's saying that he's looking for some results, and he ain't waiting too long for them. Mm-hmm. So those people that's in place, or the people he put in place, if they don't cut it, they don't deliver for him in a certain time, he's going to make some immediate changes. Yeah. Because one thing that I heard him say, he would not tolerate looking at memorials, of children that's dead or passed on due to violence. And that's why he's brought this new superintendent in of police. He want a guy that's going to be take charge and going to be tough on crime with no excuses. And it seems though this is the type of guy that this guy fits that mold. So yes, we hear he has lawsuits against him on here and there, but Rahm Emanuel's been around for a while. He know what he wants, and he know what direction he wants to take the police department as well as CPS. So he's going to do some things, and we're just going to see and support him in whatever we can. But he talked about safety in the schools, in the neighborhoods, in the parks. And that brings me, especially he talked about in the schools. You know, he wants kids to achieve, he wants good teachers, he wants those schools functioning. But also that safety piece. Now you were doing something in the public schools, the Culture Calm program along with the Retro Current. Talk about that, the Culture Calm program and its impact on those schools and this new administration. I'm sure they're going to get word about this Culture Calm, but talk about that.
Well, yeah, and Brother Tuck, we're going to do that as soon as we come back. I understand we got people hanging on the phone, so we're going to talk, let the callers in, and then we're going to go to that because I'm glad that Rahm Emanuel is here and that Broussard is here because they're going to help us understand what we're going to talk about as relates to the Culture Calm. But y'all call us, speak on it. Speak on it.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, how y'all brothers doing?
Fine,
all right.
Hey, I just want to know, Rahm Emanuel, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for him or anything, but I want to know exactly how you expect to stop all the violence that happened in my community. I live in the Inglewood community, and then half the kids don't even want to go to school. So what incentive we going to get the kids to go to school? That's all I want to know. How he really going to push these kids to go to school when they got parents who ain't telling them to go to school, and how you going to make them safe when we steady getting guns in our community?
Brother, that's a perfect concern. But what he did say, he said that yes, the teachers, the kids, and the government had a role. But he really pushed that in his reform approach, the parents would have to be accountable. I think that the only way this can work is that those parents, particularly those parents that is on some type of government subsidy, it need to be like it used to be. If your kid wasn't at school, your damn food stamps.
Stamps get cut. Right.
Your aid check, whatever in the hell they give you now, link card. So if you can't get your kid to school, then that should be a consequence on you. And you're right. He spoke about the crime, and I think what dude's gonna do, I think he gonna do like Hillard started doing. He gonna let the police loose a little bit. Now they gonna probably put a few bumps upside somebody's head. You know, like that police that slapped that boy a couple of weeks ago, and then the boy looked like he's a little innocent, you know, victim. But that's what's gonna make it a little different. When the police become more assertive in policing, and not be scared or held back to be sure that the crime is not so freely done, then it'll make Inglewood safe. It'll make the schools safe. But the police have got to be allowed to police. If you're acting a fool and acting a criminal, the police need to be able to restrain you. I don't want them killing you, but get some rubber bullets, get some tasers, and if you're behind, don't understand, then they need to deal with you. Now, I ain't speaking for Rob Emanuel, but I'm thinking Rob Emanuel going to be sort of a pragmatist. They say he's very pragmatic. If they tell you to get off the corner, you don't get off the corner, police come back 10 deep, they drag your ass off the corner, then you need to just shut up, go to jail, and sit it out. So much for that. Next caller, speak on it.
Yeah, Dr. Kofi, you know you something else, but you're absolutely right, sir. You is blunt, but you're absolutely to the point. That's exactly how that man is. He's a Russian Jew, and he, like you said, he just ain't going to take no bull crap. And if you do the history of these so-called Jews, who got the most money? The Jews do. So my point being is, you're right. He's not going to take nothing sitting down, and we might as well start getting used to it, because you're right, he's going to come up with some type of ideal. If your children are in school, you're subsidizing food stamps or something going to be cut. Thank you so much, you and Tucker.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Are there any other callers? I want to get these callers out of the way.
I'm not calling to say nothing negative. I think every man deserves to have a chance, but I hope that when the police department, they are two qualified gentlemen, if they be number two, Afro-American deputies, and I hope that he look at it real good, and they are real good for number two position. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to think positive, and I hope that he do a good job. Thank you.
Yes, sir, and I like that in you. I think a lot of us, you know, I mean, I think what's happening is that 22 years after Mayor Daley, you know, I've seen a lot of mayors in Chicago, from the old man to this man. And every time you have a change, you feel a little, something or nothing.
Excited,
right?
Anticipating some good things happen.
It's true. And like when I looked at Jane Byrne, I was so glad to see her. How time brings about a change. Oh, yeah. But I'm glad she was there, because I was wondering what happened to her. She made a contribution, because had not been for Jane Byrne, a lot of people like me that was able to retire from the city of Chicago, we wouldn't have been able to retire. Because until Jane Byrne became mayor, black folks was always kept as temporary workers, which means they couldn't get in the pension. So Jane Byrne, I salute Jane Byrne, because Jane Byrne made it possible for some black folk to actually become professionals and full-time employees. So when we look at how people make a change, that's why I'm thinking about this particular person. His energy, you know, it's like he don't feel you, but he see you. But if you are young and into what he's feeling, I think he'll reach for you. There's something about him. He ain't none of Daley. But I think he feels like Miss Maggie Daley with After School Matters. I really think the man has a commitment to young people. And that brings me to this point. And that's why Tucker here, because I knew I was going to possibly snap. And I didn't want to snap. But I got to talk about something here. Culture Come, last year. People kept calling me Sister Muhammad and a lot of other people. They kept saying, man, y'all ought to do something, y'all ought to do something, y'all ought to do something about this violence. So after a while, Brother Tucker, and you know it, I said, okay. So I called together some people. And we did do something. We came up with Retro Current Team. And through the process, CPS encouraged, matter of fact, mandated groups like us to partner with other groups. Yeah, they did.
So exactly what, before you get into it, what is Culture Calm and what do it do?
All right, Culture Calm is an initiative using stimulus money. And the easiest way for you to understand it, I think, is to look at all of them lemon and lime people you see standing on the corner.
Around the public schools.
Around the schools. Now, just standing there, that's part of the problem. Just standing there, because they didn't, CPS, the little midgets they put in charge thought you just supposed to stand there and look stupid. But those of us who wrote the proposal knew you were supposed to be safety facilitators, not watchers. You just standing there watching. Crime going on in your butt standing there watching. What good do it do to just watch? You just have to facilitate to bring about peace. But what happens is, the people that was calling me, some of them, they was also calling Holder. Some of them met with Holder. Some of them met with Huberman. Some of them met with Duncan, you see? So there was a lot of energy that made some of us get involved. So after we went through it, we hooked up with a group because at the time CPS had the requirements so ridiculously outrageous. So we hooked up. So when we went to the people, we already had our proposal and told them all we want them to do is be a what? Lead agency. Take your percent that the CPS is going to pay you to administer this, and we'll be cool. We'll do the program. But the people, once they called me and we called people together, people looked at me and said, Malik, that shit ain't going to work because this dude is known for being a damn hole. Say, everybody dude deal with. He get greedy like a pig. I said, but I understand. We'll try. Then some say, man, you have to watch it. You know what a snake will do. A snake's nature is to be a snake. I said, I hear you. So we did good, Tuck.
So what were some basic things that you were doing, that team was doing, the culture comp team was doing in the schools? What prompted you guys to get involved and to be there on specific sites?
Well, what happened is CPS had what I would call cookie cutter programs in mind. So this particular agency, of all the other agencies, because we did some political shit, you know, as soon as he found out he was funded, he said that we wasn't partners, we was employees, we was subcontractors. So eventually, bottom line, long story short, he breached the contract. But before he breached the contract, we was in CVCA, which is CVS. We was at Morgan Park, around the school, Tilton around the school, and at Clemente in the school, talking to these kids about conflict resolution, anger management, and other issues. But dude had a problem with one of our staff, the person that wrote the grant, all of the grants. And they collaborated with this particular operation. And then dude got big-headed and greedy. So now, you know, I don't want to say too much about that because I got a lawyer handling it, and it's going to cost damn near $30,000 for us to, I mean, just stupid. It's going to cost all this money. You know what we could do with $30,000, sucker? But dude breached the contract, and the reason I want to talk about the breach is because Rob Emanuel understands breaching contracts. Yes, he do. Bazard understands breaching contracts. Yes, they do. So they ought to be able to understand how retrocurrent going to deal with dude breaching contract. For instance, one girl retrocurrent was working with out at CVS. And it led to this here termination, the breach of the contract by these other people. I got a call yesterday. This girl, y'all, wraparound services to help this girl. This girl is now in county jail on a $150,000 bond. Yes. She was a girl we was working with. But dude say, oh, we don't want you to. So we succeeded, dude failing, so CPS, the snakes at CPS, the spineless boys they got over there calling themselves running something. When we say, look out, man, why don't you let us serve the kids we said we would serve? Mm-hmm. Let us do this because we got over 200 kids right here, Tucker, in their own words, right here. In their own words, their own evaluation, an evaluation that kids and the school staff, I didn't develop this. They developed this. And when you read it, it makes your heart ache. It makes you cry because the kids are saying what they need and what they get when we become there. Mm-hmm. Now, CPS don't have it. I ain't gave it to them. They ain't worthy. Over here at Morgan Park. Now, I want the public to understand this because we were doing Culture Calm. In that period of time, we provided over 12,500